Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Welcome to Alpha X. This is the ATL NA Pro division. I'm Xenodactyl, and today we have lots of Protoss games for you. Starting things off is going to be Ajax versus Sagan. PvP, I believe. Players said they're ready. Hang on. And I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Sometimes the line of communication is a little bit unclear. In any case, we're gonna get right into this one. I am really excited to see Ajax play. He's a recent addition to Alpha X, and he was a student at UConn during the same time as Printf and Turkey Dano. However, he is not a cannon rusher. So before you guys expect me to start breaking down why his gateway is going down at the time his forge should be going down, I will tell you that is not an error. He plays macro, and that's about the extent that I know of his playstyle. I haven't gotten to see him play that much. I know a little bit of how he plays, but I'm not terribly familiar with his playstyle itself. So this will be a treat to uncover. Anyhow, spawning in the bottom right as the purple Protoss for TSØP, it is Sagan. And in the upper left as the pink Protoss for Alpha X, it is Ajax. If I can ever. Okay, so yes, just to confirm, it is in fact the, oh, okay. Just, maintaining vision for potential cannon rush. It's one way to deal with it. I guess when you've played Printf and Turkey Dano enough times, you have certain precautions. Anyhow, we are going to see standard openers on both sides, and the probe is going to go out now. Nothing to note so far. Technically, the cyber for Ajax is a hair faster. Gas is... Uh-oh. Oh no! There's streamer. Uh-oh. That's not good. For a second, I was worried it was me. But, alas, it is not. And... what is happening here? Hang on. There we go. You do see the second pylon going down on, or has completed on both sides. Double adept opener for Ajax. And the third pylon also at home for both sides. On the TSØP side of things, we're gonna see a Stalker Sentry opener. This means that Ajax is gonna have some initiative on his scouting and on his harass potential. But Sagan will have the more defensive unit set between the hallucinations and the force fields. Beyond that, it's going to come down to the tech. Stargate for Ajax, so probably going to be Oracle, whereas we're going to see a Robo for Sagan. So gonna be looking to power into that mid game with a healthy immortal count. Both players thinking about an expansion based on their behavior, and the adepts are going to be blocked, so they're unable to get in. They do pick off a probe that was on the low ground, I believe. And we do see the shield batteries and the stalkers coming back to the mineral line. Adept opener does imply the probability of Stargate, so this is good reaction. Whether or not he's seen the Stargate, I'm not sure. Adepts are going to get into the main, and they are going to start picking off probes. 2 have fallen thus far, and not quite getting a third. He does actually have vision of the Stargate, so I don't know if that was from the hallucinated Phoenix, though. In any case, the Oracle is hanging out on the corner here. The shield battery is a known factor for H-Jax, so he may be waiting for another Oracle. Yeah, there it is. And the Adept is coming back in. There are a lot of Stalkers out already, and I'm getting the impression that Sagan didn't really want to build quite this many Stalkers if he could avoid it, or else he wanted to... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wants to play Blink Ruptor, also a possibility, but I'm not sure if this Stalker count is forced or if he just feels comfortable with it for wherever he's going in his build. Oracles are going to circle over to the corner again, where they can threaten the main. And they're just going to run away. Okay. Behind this, H-Jax has actually a similar Stalker count, so I guess it's all fine. And Immortals production has begun. He's actually ahead on his Immortal. So despite the later Robo in comparison to Sagan, the pressure from the Adepts and the Oracles has allowed H-Jax to take a minor lead on the ground force production cycle. He will have 2 Immortals out soon, and he has the tag on the Stalkers at the front. Picking off the Sentry at the cost of an Oracle. Okay. Considering that is the only Sentry that does deny all scouting for Sagan, aside from the Observer, I don't know where it went. And he's gonna move across the map with 2 Immortals, a good number of sentries. The Observer does spot the Stalkers, so H-Jax knows the state of the game. He knows that he is up in at least sentries. Otherwise, they're fairly even. Sentries do represent force field potential, and I guess hallucination, but I don't think that's going to be relevant to this fight, as there is an Observer on the map, and it is very unusual to see that. I think also Guardian Shield could come into play. He may also be trying to force shield batteries and just plan to take a third. But he doesn't have a probe at that location, so he looks like he's just gonna force his way up this ramp, and with a force field bottling the choke, he's gotten himself some nice positioning on these Stalkers. His Immortals are all able to fire, whereas the Immortals of Sagan are trapped behind the force field. And with this warp-in of additional Stalkers, I'm not too sure Sagan is gonna survive any longer in this game. Good juggle on the Immortal, going to pick up both of them and move back. His Prism is slightly exposed, but there's not enough Stalkers to actually challenge it, and both of his Immortals are still alive, so H-Jax is in a pretty comfortable position now. actually, he took a lot of damage on that prism, so he does have to be a little bit careful. But, oh, now he's getting 2 zealots, and that's going to allow him to contest probe pull a lot better and get on top of the stalkers. And that's just going to be his closer. H-Jax will take the first game for Alpha X. Very clean Adept Oracle opener coming out of H-Jax versus the Robo first. And yeah, that's map 1. Let me see, what is map 2? I think that's the Justice Simon. Yeah, okay. One second. Hey, was it this? Oh, I suppose it was. Okay. Alrighty, World of Sleepers is going to be the next map. This is going to be a PVZ. The map has been modified since BlizzCon. So while the map used to be Zerg favored, now it's a little bit more even. Aside from that, Justice Simon is I would classify him as a macro Protoss, but some of his macro builds are a little bit unique. And as such, and I don't mean that other Grandmaster Protoss don't use them, but there's like your standard line, and then there's like deviations from that. And he's like, some of his builds I would consider to be like one or two deviations away from standard. Not like crazy, not like SOS, but you know, maybe not exactly your run-of-the-mill. That doesn't mean he doesn't play standard. It's just that, given the fact that the map is large, given the fact that he's not all... Oh, wait a second here. Wait a second here. What are we seeing? Why is this probe so early? Is this just to block the natural, or is this supposed to be a Nexus first? What are we doing? Okay, no, he just wanted to get a Nexus block, and he's playing standard still. We have the gateway. Okay, anyhow. Spawning in the upper right as the yellow Protoss with the hatch block, or probe block, pylon block. It is, for Alpha X, Justice Simon. And in the lower left, having to go pool first in reaction, for TSØP, it is Eon. I also have been wanting to see Eon play for a little bit. I know that he recently got like qualifier for something. Was it NA Contender? I don't know. He put out some results somewhere that is recent. So, and I hadn't seen the name before, so I was just a little bit curious what this Zerg player was about. I've seen the name before, but you know, sometimes it just sticks out to you a little bit more. Any case, Probe is on fairly low health. But it is still here. It can still be annoying. The Lings are going to remove it from the game and go out, put on some pressure, confirm that this Adept is in fact being chronoed, and that a wall is actually made at a sensible time. Basically just denying the options for greed. In any case, 6 Lings are out. It's a little bit more than you see all the time. A shield battery is even going down. The Adept is scouting for the... Oh, that was some really nice movement. He sees with his Overlord that the Shade is checking for the Adepts. So he tucks his Adepts behind... his Adepts. The Adept is checking for his Lings, so he tucks his Lings behind the oh, wow. Hello, Lingnitus. At least that's what I assume this is. It could also be just Ling Flood. Oh no, he wouldn't get the hatch. This is Lingnitus. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, there's the Nidus. We do have this probe building a pylon. It kind of took a pathway suggesting defense for that. There is a Robo with an Immortal about to spawn, so he needs vision up this corner up here. The Nidus head is not yet... Okay, there it goes, and we have no reaction yet. It is still in the gray spot. Oh boy. Fog of War! Lingnitus! Oh no! Yeah, this is what happens sometimes when you provoke an opponent. They decide to retaliate. And the Nidus may have been nerfed, but that doesn't mean that you can't still do this. Gonna have to pull his probes out of the main, as that is under threat. Now pulling his probes to the main to clean up the Lings while he tries to hold on to this location. His Warp Prism needs to come power the shield battery, but it may be too late now as the Queens are there to contest the Prism. In fact, the Prism will fall, and I don't think this is very good for Justice Simon. You know, Lingnitus is, just because it takes longer to develop, it doesn't mean it doesn't still work. So, Eon is going to take this map. Okay. A little bit of dark space on the map, and yeah, that's all she wrote. Good on Eon to get the second Nidus head as quickly as possible so that he can play from 2 positions, 3 positions if you count the wall. But yeah, I think a lot of that was just having a blind spot, unfortunately. It's really hard to scout a Lingnitus when there's like, you can't move out with your Adept, and your probe had to stay, or you lost your probe to the initial Ling move out. Not really a whole lot you can do from that position other than just get all the vision possible. Like, he doesn't want to modify his build too much or else it loses its power, so the best he could have done maybe was to just say, hey, what could kill me from here, and patrol the blind space. But and making that call is like, if your opponent doesn't do Ling-nitis and you patrol it, you kind of feel silly, right? It's like, I wasted 20 minerals, 30 minerals. I think he also did check for it, so I think he felt that the Nidus should have started sooner, or he should have seen the Overlord, because his probe did go and look for it, but I don't know. At least that's what it looked like. In any case, he did build the shield battery at the front. He was thinking about some sort of aggression coming, but I think he just picked the wrong aggression in terms of his what happened? Where did Paco go? 1 second. I think this is right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Ephemeron, ZVP, Paco Mike versus Loki. Oh, yes, the score is 1-1. I will put it up on the next one. I forgot to last game. Okay, everything is going. That looks good. We're good here, and okay. So we're gonna see another PVZ. Hopefully this one is a little bit longer. Just so that we get to see, you know, more things develop, I think is always good. That was pretty straightforward, I think, the last game. Like, both players had ideas, and I think Paco Mike, not Paco Mike, Justice Simon didn't really get to develop his idea because Eon just went for kill move very quickly. In any case, spawning in the lower right as the red Protoss for Alpha X, it is Paco Mike. And in the upper left as the green Zerg for TSØP, it is Loki. So one of the things that stuck out to me when I watch Paco Mike play is he's one of the few Grandmaster Protoss that I see regularly making Colossi in this matchup. It's not a guarantee, but like, even when he plays against someone like Starkiller, who is renowned for making roaches, you still see him add in Colossi on occasion. And I don't think that's good or bad necessarily, but I do think it's a little bit uncommon sometimes. I think it can be helpful in certain situations, and in other situations maybe you want immortals. In any case, it's an interesting choice to his composition that crops up from time to time in this matchup. We'll see if it does here today. We're gonna see the Robo first opener out of Paco Mike. It's tucked away, so Loki will not be aware of it until he sends an Overlord Scout in. Paco is going to send the Adept Shade out, and his probe is still here. So, okay, the probe is leaving now. As the Adept comes, the Adept tags the probe out, and Lings are nibbling. Well, they were nibbling at the destructible plates. Confirms the third with the Adept. I think he did see the drone move in that direction, but in any case, Adept shades to the main, sees nothing. Spores are going down. This is a little bit curious. It's kind of... Loki, I guess, is playing the defend everything opener and just getting it in case of Oracle or DTs. Those are kind of the main opener threats. Aside from, like, a Soul Train, right? It is looking a little bit more like that potential Immortal Sentry all-in and or push with the gateways, with the Immortal. We're gonna see 6 gateways so far. Stalker and Prism is going to poke this Overlord. There is a Ling spotting the third. Because of the Prism, it's kind of unclear whether this is... oh, well. Now on 8 gates, this is a very committed push coming out of Paco Mike. He definitely will need to get some work done with this. He's gonna come over here, warp in some sentries, and he's bringing Stalker still. These gateways are finishing up. 7 and 8 are not quite done. Roach count is starting to climb. They're trickling in, and they haven't really... Okay, they're congregating in the main for now. Queens are now going to spot this, and the Roaches are pretty far out of position for this at the moment. Not that they really would have wanted to contest this space. It's going to be important for Loki to get 3 Ravagers to pick off the Prism. He has 1 Ravager right now, and he's getting a lot more. This Ravager count suggests to me that he just wants to break force fields and isn't as concerned about targeting the Prism itself. And I guess 3 Ravagers is a minimum, not necessarily a stopping point. Picking up the other Immortal, I'm gonna bring that up to the front, and another Warpin will occur for Paco Mike. He's gonna push in farther as he is very committed with this attack, and the Lings are here. We're gonna see more Warpins. The Prism is not... okay. For a moment, it was still in phase mode and unable to dodge Biles, so that was very scary for a moment. Losing the prism could potentially mean death. Elevating some stalkers up to the main, he's gonna turn this into a two-pronged attack. With the immortal sentry stalker base on the ground and a warping of zealots in the main, he's gonna lose the prism in fact, but it opens up a massive push into the natural. And now, with the Zerg out of position, trapped on the top side of his own ramp, Paco Mike is going to get the natural, and this is devastating to the Zerg economy. Needs to kill it, but wary of the broodlings and opening up the army to attack him, he also gets the Roach Warren and secures his retreat for the time being. However, not having the prism means that what army he has is what he has no way to reinforce. He's gonna have to recall out of that. This is an okay position for him, I would say. He has another prism. He is considering a third. I guess if he sent Zerg back to one base, he can theoretically expand. Well, he lost his probe. He can also push in again if he really feels that's necessary. I don't know if he saw the mutas though. Okay, so he did see it, but did he see it? You know, that's always the question. He has a Templar Archives, so he might be looking to just push with and make Archons in his army and say that, Zerg, you cannot afford mutas. If you make mutas, this turns into a base trade, and my win condition for the base trade is that your army can never fight my army. He does have charge, in fact. I guess if he has Templar Archives, he had time to get charge. And there are some mutas out, but that means that the roaches are going to be in quite low number. There actually is not a whole lot of... Oh, just kidding. I'm like, the stalker count is so low! Oh wait, Archons. Yeah, so this is going to be the kill move. With the 3 Archons, I think he can just win. I think. Yeah, okay, there we go. And Paco Mike will put Alpha X up to match point. So I believe... Okay. We're gonna go back to a PvP. And this is looking like a... I think it's Mage versus Jomer. I want to say I've seen Jomer play before. I want to say it was a game on Triton, and I want to say it was this matchup. And I want to say Jomer won. I'm struggling to remember what he did though. So I will get back to you on that aspect of the game in a moment. Yeah, Mage is gonna play him. Let's see, what map is it? Eternal Empire? Okay. Mage has been known to occasionally cannon rush in this matchup. Ew. Okay. They were asking if Mage could play on Brazil server. Okay, so it looks like they're gonna do NA East, as that's the best NA server available. And yeah. At least I think they're doing NA East. They're doing one of the NA servers. They're not gonna do Brazil. But Mage is from China. So I don't know if he's currently playing in China. But that's why it was funny to me. I was just like, oh, you're asking a Chinese player if they can play on Brazil. Oh no. Oh no. I think Mage is currently in the States, so it's actually not as bad. But they are gonna play on an NA server of some sort, and yeah. We'll be loading in Eternal Empire, PvP, Mage versus Jomer. And here we go. Spawning in the lower left as the red Protoss for TSØP is Jomer. And in the upper right as the blue Protoss for Alpha X, it is Mage. Okay, this pylon placement from Mage is suggesting cannons. It doesn't have to be, it could also be, in fact, because he did not send his probe out, yeah, okay. Let's see the gateway. Now I'm starting to think this is mech toss. It doesn't have to be, it can just be standard play still. Could also be to bait Adept Oracle opener and just 4-gate. There's a number of things that Mage could be doing here. The reason why I suggested mech toss as a possibility is because from this position you don't always get a second gate, but he is going to still open with the 2 gates, so now I'm leaning towards 4 gate in like my algorithm as to why you would do this. Like, he's gonna get his cyber, and yeah, this also could be a soft meta versus Cannon Rush, and just feels like defending Adupts is fine. Perhaps he wants to go for a macro game and just doesn't care about the threat of Adupts. But in any case, he does have a kind of a wall here, and the Adupts are walled this way, so technically the Adupts have to like go around if he faces that kind of reaction from Jomer. Jomer does scout all of this, and it's gonna be on him to figure out how he wants to respond. He is going to open with Adupts at least. We'll see if he also gets a Stargate. Third pylon does go down for Jomer, and his his probe is leaving. No chrono on the cyber yet, whereas there is a chrono on the cyber for Jomer. Probe is moving this away. Stalkers are looking for the Adepts and proxies. He should definitely expect Adepts. I think he was like, this is definitely a bait of sorts, right? Like you don't open with no wall and don't expect your opponent to make Adepts. He has plenty of Stalkers for the Adepts. Like, he can split his Stalkers, have 2 in the mineral line and 2 chasing the Adepts. So, like, given the map size, he is technically ahead on the Stalker count if he wants to go for a mid-game push, similar to what we saw from H-Jax on Triton. Moving his Stalkers to balance out the threat of the Adept Shade. He is gonna complete this one, getting 2 probes right off the bat, 4 in total. All in all, I think the Adepts paid for themselves. Like, that's breaking even in my mind. So, the game is relatively even. Twilight Council is going down. Oh! Okay. This could be interesting. This might be for Blink, in which case he already has the higher Stalker count, and because he baits the Adepts from his opponent. Oh no, it's Glaives. Now I'm even more curious. What were you trying to get with this? Ah, this is a very nice pickup. Getting the Immortal means that the primary backbone of defense has been removed, and once his Glaives materializes, I mean, he's just poking right now. Yeah, he needs another pylon here somewhere. He's gonna bring his probe around. It's even closer than the last one. I don't know why he's going home. I think he has to cancel back. Getting another pylon. Oh, were there some Adepts that I missed? His army movement, or his probe movement, is as if he was concerned with Adepts. Well, I don't know. Uh-oh. No. Okay. Glaives has finished. He's moving back out. His Adept count is climbing slowly. He's at 6 with his main army. He might have more. Oh, there they are, warping in at this location. Gonna get a proxy gateway as well. And Hallucinated Phoenix is going to see the Immortal count and Stalker count, as well as the single shield battery at the front. Because of the shield battery and Immortal count, I don't think he can dive the army. That doesn't mean that he can't do something with this force. There is a proxied Stargate at a rather peculiar time. He is still going to dive this. I don't know how I feel about this. Well, he eats through the shield battery energy and gets rid of 2 Immortals so far. There's not a whole lot besides the Immortals, so I guess the DPS isn't really able to be distributed very well across the Adept force. The Adepts are dying though, and many probes fell, but I think Jomare holds here. The score is currently 2-1 in favor of Alpha X. More Adepts are coming up, and we're gonna see another Shade. This one, there is a full health shield battery, or a full energy shield battery. Well, not full, but in any case, he eats through that as well as the Stalkers, and suddenly Mage is in a fantastic position. The only shield battery left is going to be killed, and only shield battery with energy is going to be killed. The Adepts break into the main, and suddenly Mage is looking to close out this game. That Stargate that was proxied is on the other side with an Oracle, getting some kills, but I don't think it's going to rectify this damage. This is quite a lot. And, I mean, there's more units here. The probe is coming up, I don't know why. Perhaps it was on the same army key. Oracles are trying to get some economic damage done. But, I mean, there's almost no production for Jomare. He, just can't make things. Any things. Whatever things. So, Gladeps, wow. I was skeptical that this was going to work with the Immortal count and shield battery, but I guess it's fine. Zealots coming in now as well to help with the buildings. Stalkers, I believe, were recalled in order to deal with the Oracles, and Jomare is gonna just give the single G, and that's gonna be it. I believe 3-1 ends the series for Alpha X. Okay, there's the GG from Jomare, and from the other streamer, I think that's the end of the series. And yeah. Thank you all for stopping by. This has been the Alpha X stream for ATL NA Pro. We have a 3-1 this week, and that secures or furthers our standing in first place for this division. What else? Anything else? IEM qualifiers are still going. I think Captain Canuck, Creighton Olsen, some other streamers are out there So there's more StarCraft to watch, and see you guys next time.
Nuclear missile ready.